around the Department of Defense. This is your daily news brief.
The space race grows ever more intense. I'm Marine Staff Sergeant Jen Martinez. The United States was the first, and still is, the only nation to put a man on the moon. And this summer will mark half a century since that unforgettable event. A lot has changed since then, and the U.S. needs to step up its game, or risk losing its edge to China or Russia, who are trying to gain strategic advantage in space. This is the warning that Assistant Secretary of Defense for Homeland Defense and Global Security, Kenneth P. Rapuano, gave senators last week at a hearing of the Senate Armed Services Committee's Strategic Forces Subcommittee. Space offers the U.S. military an advantage that he said America must fight to maintain. Just how important is space to uniformed gunslingers on the battlefield? According to Rapuano, it's pivotal because of the surveillance reconnaissance capabilities that we get from space, such as real-time situational awareness of adversaries' locations and activities. He also said the proposal for the establishment of a Space Force, U.S. Space Command as a unified command, and a Space Development Agency are all part of the Defense Department's efforts to move forward. More than 100 wounded, ill, and injured active duty soldiers and veterans competed during the 2019 Army Trials at Fort Bliss, Texas. Army Trials showcase the resilient spirit of wounded, ill, and injured soldiers and veterans. Participants included athletes with various injuries and illnesses, such as spinal cord injuries, amputations, traumatic brain injuries, and post-traumatic stress disorder. These are their stories.
Me personally, coming to Army Trials, it gives me another opportunity to compete for the United States, compete for the Army, and hopefully from here I can kind of restart my adaptive career, and continue maybe someday get back into the Paralympics and wear red, white, and blue on my back again.
Competitors who excel at the Army Trials have the opportunity to represent the Army at the 2019 Department of Defense Warrior Games in Tampa, Florida. On April 1st, 1945, the Ryukyu Islands were the front line for a series of battles, which culminated in the largest amphibious assault in the Pacific Theater. The battle on Okinawa Island was the last major battle of World War II and one of the bloodiest. The 82-day fight resulted in more than 240,000 deaths of Japanese and U.S. service members, as well as Okinawan civilians. Today, Americans and Okinawans gather at the Cornerstone of Peace Memorial Wall in Okinawa every year on the anniversary of the battle's end to honor the lives lost on both sides of the battle. That's your DoD News Brief. I'm Marine Staff Sergeant Jen Martinez. You can find more stories about your military at defense.gov and by using #KnowYourMil.